People of Reddit. What screams I'm very insecure? One-upping people constantly in conversations. Or bragging about how much better you can do something than others can. Which is a much better comment than yours was. I have a brother who does this. He's so insecure about whether people see him as an idiot that he's getting his PhD so he can officially be the smartest person in the room wherever he goes. Almost verbatim. Dude lies pathologically about the dumbest stuff. I used to be very insecure, so I'll go from my own experience. Lying about something to seem cool. It's very obviously a signal of insecurity because they don't like who they are now. I used to be this way. I got it from my mother. It evolved into pathological lying, where I would get so invested in a lie that I would eventually end up believing it, and it would become my reality. In hindsight, that shit is horrifying. It's a serious mental disorder. A decade of therapy later, I snapped out of it and realized that I was acting like a fucking wet wipe on a regular basis and cut that shit out. I go to the gym. There are some people who look down on me because I'm fat. I don't care about their opinions. I go out to have fun with my friends. I act weird and sometimes flamboyant because it's entertaining to me and my friends. There are some people who look down on me, us, because it's weird, unusual or gods forbidding, gay. I don't care about their opinions. My friends tell me I acted incredibly shitty to them because of, I apologize profusely. Because I care about their opinions. I cannot and will not try to appease everyone. I look for people who are open-minded and happy to live their lives to the fullest versus stringent and stagnating people who only want to live in their echo chambers. Personal trainer here. Anyone who is serious about what they're doing is too invested in their own workout to give a shit about anyone else in there. I go to an independent spit and sawdust gym. We have people of all different shapes and sizes, and everyone is fucking awesome and supportive of each other. I swear, it is gym heaven for anyone with insecurities. My partner and I went to a different city and visited a trendy chain gym. I'm a PT, he's a boxer, so we are in pretty good shape and know our way confidently around a gym, so in theory, should not feel conscious at all. We were in there for 5 minutes before we both freaked out and left because the trendy attractive dickheads were staring us up and down and making us feel insecure, whispering to each other and whatnot. We wandered around until we found this little rundown muscle gym down a back alley filled with huge bodybuilders right across two out of shape people working their asses off. We got a friendly nod from anyone we accidentally made eye contact with and had a great session. If someone is looking down on you for being overweight, they're an asshole and you deserve to find a better gym. I'm glad to hear that you don't care about their opinions, because you shouldn't. If they've got time to cast judgment on you, they aren't fucking training properly, so fuck 'em. Bragging about things not even in your control, like your parents' wealth. I had a friend recently brag that she got diagnosed with PTSD from her childhood. Yeah, I remember hanging out with a crew of emo-ish kids when I was younger and everyone was competing to be the most fucked up and depressed or whatnot. Now being an older adult and realizing how much my anxiety disorder gets in the way of my work and social life, and it's really not cool. I have a friend who likes to brag to girls at the bar about how successful our other friend is because his parents have a successful business that he is taking over. Super cringy. My brother and I hung out with a guy for a while who was the absolutely king of one-upping people. It got to the point where we would make up slightly unbelievable stories to see how he would one-up them. Here's some of the gems he presented us. His father competed in an underground street fighting league with a titanium leg. He once watched a man get hit in the face with a severed bean, and he shot a metal target 100 yards away, blindfolded, judging its location from the sound of someone else shooting the target. Clarification on the flying bean. So, he claimed to have been an EMT for a year, which didn't seem possible with the timeline of his life, but that's beside the point, and he drew a lot of his stories from his EMT days. One day, he says, he's working with a guy who's been an EMT for 30 years. They get a call about some domestic violence, so they head to the house, where the police are already inside. Our friend says he stepped into the house ahead of the veteran EMT, and he was greeted by a screaming woman waving a severed peen at the 2 police officers already inside. As soon as she saw him, she hurled the cook right at his head, and he ducked out of the way. The airborne peen flew through the threshold of the door, striking his EMT partner in the face. The man looked down at the bloody peen on the ground, looked up at our friend, the police, and the still screaming woman, threw up his hands, and yelled at it, "I fucking quit," and turned around and walked off. He said he never saw him again. I knew a guy who could compete with your guy. That's right, I'm one-upping your one-upper/s. He once said that he got in a car chase with the cops on a dirt road. He escaped them by pulling the emergency brake and doing a 360 at like 100 miles per hour. This threw dirt up in the air, giving him invisibility, and he was able to keep the car perfectly straight on the road the entire time. This strategy worked so well, he did 360s continuously down the road. Does this guy sound like his name is Joey? His name is Joey. I deal with insecure moms a lot, either at the playground or mommy groups. They're insecure about what milestones their child is hitting and how they are doing as a mother. One of the biggest tells is when they brag about something that's clearly a lie or even a partial truth. My 3-year-old is reading at a 1st grade level. Okay, but he's eating grass right now and just pooped himself. You see it a lot on social media now. My 20-month-old is potty trained. Having several accidents a day and needing a diaper whenever she sleeps is not potty trained. Yeah, moms are pretty judgy and many mommy groups are toxic, but most of can tell when you're lying and it screams insecure. People who feel the need to judge everyone in a negative light and who only want to see the worst in others so they can feel better about themselves. It just shows how unhappy they truly are. The more you talk about how good you are in bed and how many women you've ducked, the less I believe you. Scene. Gets a notification on phone. XGF. Who's chatting to you now? Me. It's a game notification. Me. Goes to shower. Me. Comes back to find GF going through every message, email, and WhatsApp. Does that scream I'm insecure? Edit 1. Thanks for the responses. I got out of that relationship last year and I'm dating someone of a far better mind than someone who trusts me. Edit 2. I coded my phone. She figured it out. Then I used my fingerprint. Edit 3. My ex was very insecure and would often follow and check my every move. Edit 4. I will respond as best I can. Banning Winnie the Pooh because someone said you looked like him. People whose self-esteem is so low that they can't stand the sight of people with high self-esteem, so they will try to break down anyone they perceive as more successful than them. When a group of this type of people comes together, a major crab bucket mentality arises, and they will target people perceived as highly competent or successful for bullying, gossip, false rumors, and other things that should have been wiped out after elementary school. Posting what you're up to every day on social media. Or the vague "Ugh, I'm so upset right now" status where they're praying that someone asks what's wrong. If you want to say what's bothering you, do it. Don't clickbait your own status. I only get along with guys. Other girls hate me. I had a coworker who claimed she always found working with men easier. She would listen to and respect the decisions of the guys, but tended to talk down to me, a woman, a lot. Other girls came onto the team actually requested a move they found her so difficult to work with. Clicking on this post to see if any of the top comments are things you do. I bought a mattress the other day and the salesman had a chin strap and blue flames tattooed up his arms. When I finished checking out, he came up behind my mom and I and said, very seriously, just so you know, people call me Firearms. Later that same day, my dad and I were in the parking lot at Lowe's and a guy with spiked hair pulled into the parking lot in a convertible blasting Crazy Birch by Buckcherry. I like to think he and Firearms were separated at birth. Using your internal fear as a reason not to do something. Hate your job. You don't apply for any others because you're scared of being rejected or that you don't deserve a better job. In a terrible relationship, you stay because you're scared of being alone. That kind of insecurity is the worst MO because it affects nearly everyone. I found that a lot of people on Twitter that feel the need to post about how great of a person they are and they have nothing but good intentions are usually the most toxic people I've seen. People who automatically assume that if you disagree with them, you must have a subjective personal reason to do so, if possible even related to your own insecurities. Simply not true. Insecurity can manifest itself in many ways including, but not limited to, being shy, not introverted, consistently wearing clothes that conceal the body, like wearing the same jumper to school every day year round, wearing a hairstyle that conceals the face size, looking down/away from people, not participating in social media and/or group conversations because of fear of rejection, always being exceptionally nice, or being exceptionally rude, particularly around things they are sensitive about, like if they feel inferior about their grades they will slag off other poor performers, or they may try to drag others down with them by general bullying, depending on what their personality is like. Not all insecure people are bullies. We are all insecure about something at some time in our lives NBD, really. Living in the suburbs and getting a giant lifted pickup truck for the sole purpose of intimidating other drivers and driving like a jackass. Me when I scream I'm very insecure.